What up, guys? Joe White here. It's about midnight on Sunday, December the 3rd, and we are about, 24, 7, 33 hours away, 32 hours away from the GTA 6 trailer coming out, or Trailer 1, as Rockstar Games have officially dubbed this. Trailer 1. And they put out a little graphic with palm trees and a pinkish, yellowish background, like sunset background. And then 24 hours later, the game leaks again. And this time it's even worse than before. So, for those who don't know, in September of 2022, so over a year ago, a kid from England who's representing some sort of hacker group hacks into the Rockstar North servers and downloads, what was it? It was well over 50 gigs. I think somebody said close to 80 or 90 gigs of data gets leaked. It's showing the main two characters robbing a waffle restaurant. It's showing kids and the two main characters walking around, and all kinds of stuff got leaked. The kid has, from my knowledge, is now the kid who hacked into the servers is now in jail. Rockstar came out and said, yes, it leaked. What are we going to do? Pretty much that was Rockstar's standpoint. Hey, we're sorry. We hate when this shit happens, but we'll take the egg on the face. It happened. Rockstar has then dropped sudden hints since then in an investor call earlier this year, saying that the fiscal year of 2024 or 2025, which begins in April of 2024, it's going to be a big one. They then put out later on this year, hey, we are working on this. This is real. We're working on the next Grand Theft Auto game. Still not saying that it's Grand Theft Auto 6. Still not saying, what system it's on. Nothing. Fast forward to last month, and they say, hey, it's coming in early December. The first trailer is coming in early December. And then, on December the 1st, which I believe coincides with the 25-year anniversary of Rockstar Games being founded, they put up the graphic. Then, yesterday, December the 2nd, it gets leaked again. More game. This time it's footage of the city. This isn't. It's pretty much beta footage. I guess we could call this a beta at this point. But it is actual footage of the skyline of the city, and I've seen it. Looks great. But here's how this happens. Let me backtrack a little bit here. When I worked from home I worked for support.com in their Comcast, what they called tenant or division. I handled Comcast accounts, personal information, and I took my job seriously. My kids didn't come downstairs. My entire family didn't come downstairs. Nobody really came downstairs into my work office when I was working. But, to be fair, we didn't have COVID when I was working from home. But that's not my point. Here's what happens. One of the lead developers for this game, he's a vice president of the company from what I understand, has his kid in his office. Yeah, I'm sorry, if I'm working on Grand Theft Auto 6 from home, that room is under lock and key. And at the very least, I make sure that my kid doesn't come in there with his friend and take video footage with his freaking cell phone. Or if you're going to show your kid or your kid's friend, because hey, I want to be a cool dad, I'll let my kid be the cool kid in school and he can bring his friends over, and as long as nobody videotapes it or whatever, look all you want. Because without video or photo, it's all rumor. The old phrase, pics or it didn't happen. But no, either the son of the developer sent this to a friend who then put it up on TikTok and everywhere else in the world, or the son and the friend went in there and the friend recorded this himself. I've heard conflicting reports on how this went down, but the point is, you don't let anybody near that workstation, whether it be at home, in the office, on the moon, anywhere else. You don't let them in there with a phone. You tell them, hey, there's a bucket or a little table outside my door. Could you kindly put your cell phone out there and leave it out there? Give you another example. After I got done working with Comcast, I worked for a company named Telvista. From an office. I wasn't working from home anymore. And in order to get on the call center floor, you had to walk through a metal detector where an armed guard sat there. And if you shut the metal detector off, you were getting the old pat down. The old frisk. Thankfully, I never had to get frisked by the armed guard, because they gave you a locker to put your phone in, and you had to put your phone in there. You could not carry your cell phone. You couldn't even carry a piece of paper and a pen on that call center floor. Now, am I saying that this guy should have kept an armed guard and a metal detector in his home? No. But in front of the doorway to your office, is it possible to put like a little table? You can go to Walmart. You can go to Dollar Tree and buy a little TV tray. And you put it outside your door, and anybody but you who comes in that room, hey, could you put your phone, empty your pockets, and put them on the tray, put them on the TV tray, put them on the table, outside the freaking door. But no, this guy allows his son, or his son's friend, or a combination of both, to record at what you're doing. It reminds me of when one of the Star Wars movies got leaked off of somebody's phone. You know, if I'm working on Grand Theft Auto 6, and I know what this game is going to look like, and I know that it's going to blow people's minds, I went through all that time in schooling and college to do graphic design or whatever you went to college to do. Because it's not easy creating video games despite what people think. The last thing I'd want to do, I would take pride in my work. The last thing I'd want to do is put this in that kind of jeopardy. I hope they fire this guy. I really do hope they fire this guy. I mean, it's one thing to get egg on your face, or an egg. It's okay to get one egg on your face when a hacker comes in there and steals pre-alpha footage of your game. It's another thing. Now, this guy has the entire egg carton on his face. And he should have to wear the egg carton as a dunce cap from now on. They know who this guy is. The kid, his son's friend or his kid's friend went on TikTok and posted a picture of him and the guy together with the friend's face blurred out, saying, yeah, here's my buddy. Here's my developer buddy. I'm a friend of his kid. I'm a friend of his son. Now, could Rockstar potentially be leaking this stuff themselves to get extra hype going on? Yes. It's happened before where people purposely leak shit. But I doubt it in this case. So the video shows, spoiler alert, shows the skyline at night or at dusk. It shows a Pibwasser, which is their brand of in-game beer. Shows a billboard for that. Shows traffic. It looks good. It looks really good. Now granted, you're watching somebody take a grainy looking video off of a video screen, but it looks good. Another thing I wanted to talk about in this video is Bryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. For those of you who are professional wrestling fans, you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. Dave Meltzer, the quote-unquote legendary writer and editor of the Wrestling Observer newsletter since the late 70s. And his partner, Bryan Alvarez, who started a newsletter of his own and then merged with Dave because Dave got sick and tired of doing... Here's why these two are together. Dave saw that this whole internet thing was happening and realized, I don't know nothing about a computer. So I need to get me some guy who does. And he went out and found his young boy, and Bryan Alvarez at the time, and said, hey, we'll merge and I'll pay you to do all the online work, all the freaking audio stuff, record it, put it up, whatever the case may be. Well, these two have had their Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp moment. Look that up if you don't know what that is. Just look that up. Apparently, AEW Dynamite has been doing an overrun lately. Unadvertised most weeks. Overrun. There was that one time a couple weeks back where they advertised the overrun for Dynamite when it aired on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. But on the Wednesday show, and here's where this goes, I guess Bryan Alvarez has YouTube TV, do they not have somebody get back to me. Do they not have a guide like a regular cable company does? Or satellite company does? Or Fios even? Verizon Fios? I wish I could get Verizon Fios where I was. It's a good service. But anyway, on most cable systems, hell, even the Roku channel has a guide. You push the button for the guide. You select what program you want to record. At least, and I have Xfinity, so if I want to record Gilligan's Island, okay? And let's say Gilligan's Island is going to have an overrun. They're going to stay on the island 10 minutes more this week. And it keeps happening to where they stay on that island 10 minutes over each week, but my DVR only sets it to record, at 7:30, bam, you're off the island. From 7 to 7:30, we'll record your Gilligan's Island, but we don't know that they're going to stay on the island for 10 more minutes this week. We think they're going to be off the air at 7:30, so we're cutting the thing off at 7:30. But let's say you get onto it, and after the first or second week of them staying on the island for 10 minutes, guess what? I'm going to go into my guide, and on Comcast, you can tell the DVR, I want to start the show on time, or let's say even 5 minutes early, and I want to end the show 5 minutes late, or 30 minutes late. I guess Brian Alvarez, because he says, I don't know what the next movie is going to be. Brian Alvarez is elected to miss the overrun of Dynamite every week if they have one. And Meltzer is going on and on and on about how this is not AEW's fault. They're treating AEW as if it's a real sport. And sometimes they go over and sometimes they got to call the cable company. Well, how about you do this? They did it with Raw. They do it with NXT. If I'm AEW and I'm going over, and people say, well, they don't know that they're going to go over. Well, if there's even an inkling of a chance that we may go over our time slot this week, I'm going to call all the cable or TNT and tell TNT, hey, can you put on your guide, on your program schedule, just put 10 minutes over worth of overrun. Raw, for ages and ages, before they went to 3 hours, Raw was from 8 o'clock to 11:05 every week. On my guide, it says Raw 11:05 is when it's ending. And the DVR would record that till 11:05. Now, there was that one time, it was La Resistance versus somebody, that they decided to go almost 30 minutes over past 11. They went until like 11:20 one week during that main event Raw for that tag match. So, I'm assuming it was a last minute choice because something that ran long. And WWE called USA and said, hey, we're going over tonight. And USA's like, okay, we're just going to air a bullshit episode of Baywatch anyway, so go ahead. Or Silk Stockings or La Femme Nikita, whatever show rerun they were doing. Go ahead. That's one thing, if it happens once. But when it keeps happening every week, Tony Khan should pick up the phone and go, hey, TNT, David Zaslav, we want to go over. There is a possibility every week that we may go over. Could you give us could you call the cable companies and tell them to extend a little bubble on the guide by 10 minutes? And Bezos is going to go, okay. Or Zaslav, Bezos owns Amazon. David Zaslav is going to go, okay. And he's going to call YouTube TV. And he's going to call Comcast and Spectrum and everybody else and go, hey, on your guide, Dynamite runs till 11:10. or 10 minutes after, 10 minutes after 10 or 10 minutes after 11, whatever the case may be. 10-minute overrun. Now, will they go the extra 10 minutes every week? Maybe not. But then it's up to the network to have the movie already loaded up in the system, which I'm sure they do, and pay attention to when Dynamite goes off the air. And if they go off the air early, you could play the Superman movie or whatever you have scheduled to go at 10 o'clock. You push play as soon as Dynamite goes off the air. But no, Meltzer wants to argue, well, it's YouTube TV's fault. No, it's AEW's fault. It's a scripted show. Does it always go according to script? No. But it's not exactly whose line is it anyway either, where it's improv. And these two got into a huge argument over this because Brian Alvarez missed the last 10 minutes of the show because he didn't tell his DVR to record the other show. Because apparently with YouTube TV, you can't go in there and go, give it 5 extra minutes, 10 extra minutes, whatever the case may be. Why it's not like that, I don't know. Google TV needs to get their crap together. It sounds like a real shitty service. But at the same time, Tony Khan should be contacting TNT, David Zaslav, and then they should be calling the different cable companies going, hey, we're going to put it in for an overrun. We may not use that overrun every week, but we're going to put that it's there. Just in case. But listening to these two argue about it, I think we have the, I think this can be their Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp argument. This goes on. I don't know if these two are going to last. Anyway, I found it funny. I really found it funny. And then go to Jim Cornette's YouTube page and listen to him and Brian Last talk about this little spat that Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez have. It's funny as hell. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get off here and go back to bed. If you see a big rig on the road, give us plenty of room. Do not tailgate us. Go the speed limit. Let us over if we need to get over. If you can't see our mirrors, we can't see you, and we'll see you down the road.